Hello everyone, this is part number 14 of our Warlord retaliation playthrough. In the last episode we cleared left part of Homestead, Pine Barrens as well. Now I'm gonna check my friend for useful materials. As I said last episode, I want to give another shot for a Mugara's Funk. My last drop was terrible and my current one is already old date. That's on level. I'm gonna work on my field command. It's a pretty nice stats. That's gonna fix my low offensive ability, so I can proc my Assassin's Blade. This is a very interesting spawn. We got Shaman Hero and several Briar Thorns. I don't mind the experience and the reputation, but that's pretty unusual back to back. Rushing of Soul Warding, it's much better than my last one. That one's gonna do the job. Let's transfer my component and I have to put another augment to fix the poison resistance. That one surface well, but it's pretty old date. Slit Venom. I'm gonna check my devotions, see everything's attached. Okay, everything seems okay. This is the moment that I can retrieve 1 point from a counter-strike. As I explained last episode, these red numbers can be retrieved and used. In this way I soft cap my field command and I can focus on something different. For example, Rebuke for more flat physical and retaliation damage. I think my tankiness is already very good, so I can focus on some damage, but first I'm gonna buy a better version of my boots. This is a better version of the gloves as well. But I need the chaos resistance from the black steel gauntlet, so I'm gonna keep it. This one provides rare resistance. It's a very good boots. But at this point I think actually I can use this one. My ether and chaos resistance in a very good spot. So I can make this straight this time. But keep in mind you have an option for ether and chaos resistance at this point, because we get a revert with the homestead, which means we have access to the augments as well. I'm gonna take a quick scan. Their augments somehow pretty bad usually. But still can be handy in different situations, because they come in the other P SWATs. We are pretty set to take care of Blood Grove. I'm gonna clear the whole quest line, include side quests as well. I need hit 75 is a very good threshold for my build. I'm gonna again we have to trigger some of the quests at the Dead's Vigil hideout. As I explained, that's one of the main reasons I avoid to stick with them, but in this case they are the better option. Just because Iron Maiden shoulders pretty good shoulders for this build, and also Iron Maiden is a pretty much better matchup for me than Xantarin. So don't forget, here after the bridge you pick north and immediately you have to turn east. So this quest have two different outcomes, I already showed that. I prefer to stick with the witch because she's gonna be at Coven later on, give me a little bit passive experience and some reputation. It's not about role playing, it's all about to benefit more from a single quest. We stick east. I want to take care of Morton's claim quest, which is a very good trade-off for one dynamite. It's a tons of experience and Rover's reputation. She's pretty easy. Mostly cold damage. Some vitality. As you can see, she's considered as a boss. That's maximum reputation for a single kill. On top of that, 75,000 experience. Not too bad for a minute and 1 dynamite. We have to be careful with Bolvar. He can be very rippy at this point, especially if he rolls 2 pistols. So this devotion at this point is kinda rip-off. You're gonna sacrifice 1 seal of binding for basically a little bit of experience. I'm gonna do it. It's very easy to farm bindings, but some devotions at this point it's not worth it. I'm gonna clear around this totem. At this point I'm level 72. I can start finding high-end component blueprints. Items doesn't matter so much for me, but the blueprints can be handy. So Bolvar is, I think, at least one of the pistols is double rare. I take too much damage for already capped chaos resistance. Obviously he can't kill me by any means, but so one of them is Bloodthirsty of the Void, not so scary, but Void Touch of the Abyss. This is a double rare and comes with a resistance shred and damage reduction as well. This is very dangerous pistol because he shred my resistance below the cap. That's why I take so much damage. Keep that in mind. Blood growth below 80% at this point is kinda rippy. You want to be sure you cap this either with ointment or gear swap or whatever. Don't come here if you're not capped at ultimate. You're gonna lose your character, definitely. Especially if you're gonna face Bolvar. And especially if you don't pay attention to Zarya's crystals. She's gonna got you definitely. Crystal zaps are one of the most dangerous things in this game. Let's take care of the Griver's Mill. Another easy quest, but very profitable in terms of experience. We want to kill all the champion cultists. They have chance to drop Seal of Bindings. So this village I'm gonna try to clear as much as possible. Harbingers are the most dangerous thing. This debuff comes with tons of damage. At this point my gear is pretty much set, apart from few pieces. There is nothing in the game that can kill me at this point if I play cautiously, not so reckless. But even if I play reckless, I am pretty tanky at this point. This is a pretty bad spawn. We have all type of Catonians. Nothing useful. So again, gentle reminder, stay away from the crystals. She puts Curse of Frailty, so my resistance goes down. You can see. And at this point, crystal's pretty rippy. I lost 16 of my chaos resistance. She shred around 25, if I'm not mistaken. We can max out actually soft cap rebuke at this point. Gonna start working on my damage. My tankiness is in a good shape. Another totem. This is an arcane spawn. You have to be extremely careful. This ball over here is gonna strip all of your buffs, your ointments, everything. That's gonna lead to losing your character This is one of the most scariest debuff in Grindown. If an arcane mob hits you, or arcane mechanic in general, you gotta... And most builds, like 95% of the builds, they rely on their buffs to stay alive. So there is a very few builds that are tanky even without the buffs. And if you got hit by arcane, immediately start kiting, don't stay there fighting. Definitely retreat until the buff expires. As you can see, real power of this build is the density. This is a Harbinger hero. Very, very dangerous. So we reach Talnosh. First phase, when he's still in a human form, nothing dangerous in particular, pretty easy. Things get spicy when he becomes actual Chthonic. Few dangerous mechanics here is the pulls. This pull, be sure you reposition. Crystals, again I have to reposition. His crystals not so deadly like Zarya's one, but still his are the second most deadly crystals in the game. There he goes. I'm gonna kite him out of them and finish off the battle. Now very important thing, takes the next rift. Never go back to Homestead to take care of your quest log and stuff. First and most important thing is to take this rift, because if you override your rift portal by accident, or because you forgot you have a rift portal after the boss fight, you have to run the whole Dark Veil gate, the whole fortress. It's kinda annoying because comes with 2 levels and stuff. You don't want to do that. When you secure your rift, it's much easier. I'm gonna check Isaiah. Let's separate the stuff that we gonna blows with dynamites. At this point, keeping these items even for old characters not a good idea. This is a low level sets. They come without most of the mods. Let's see his stuff. Why not? Stacking up some stuff for later on is never a bad idea. Some easy reputation.
I am told that I could not when the Legion was fled. Inquisitor Creed.
We got pretty close. 74. Let's go to the Dead's Vigil. Pick up some. We got the seals. Very painful quest. You have to spare 3 of them. We have to take care of the essence. It's gonna send you in a very dangerous area. This cask can come in handy. There is a sure dynamite here. And one more later on, I think. But still, this is not area you want to be. Noveria Stormfire can be very deadly. When she start casting everything, she use mirror as well, which make her invincible. And there is Bugbreaker, Venarius. He uses several mechanics. This is his Thunder. I prefer to do a chat. And this is when the things got spicy, when he starts using devastation. A squishy character can be one shot pretty easily here, especially with low ether resistance and very low physical resistance as well. That's the other secure dynamite. And And this is one of the reasons why Cayman's Chosen is better. If you stick with them, you have absolutely no reason to come here. That saves you some sort of stress. Let's pick the next. I'm gonna get rid of this quest. My deal with Dirani. I'm not gonna rank the depraved sanctuary. Actually, my chaos resistance pretty bad, pretty good, I'm sorry, so can give it a shot. Comes with a... So here is the depraved sanctuary. When you have the key, usually these guys, they have a slightly chance to drop it. Yeah, it's here. This is extremely lucky actually. Most of the time takes like 10 or 15 runs until you get one, sometimes more. But I already got it because I make a deal with Dirani. This is one of the most rippiest areas in the game. Comes with tons of harbingers, chaos damage, vitality damage. In ultimate is kinda doable because my tankiness is maxed out at this point. But coming here at normal is absolutely dead warrant. Density is pretty big. The problem is these guys. A stack of harbingers can be very deadly. The gore here is serious. There is a full bath of blood. There is a chance for totem here, but again, if you click that in normal, you're gonna be a dead man. Warborn Pauldrons. This is a pretty good soldier shoulders. Not for our build, but in general. I'm gonna keep it for potential swaps. Be sure you learn all of the blueprints so you don't have dupes. Here is Salazar. First thing that you have to do is take care of the Harbinger. You don't want to fight Salazar and the Harbingers at once. Be sure you kill the Harbinger first. Salazar comes with tons of damage. Doesn't matter in which phase of the game you're gonna face him. He just deals a lot of damage. He cast Curse of Frailty as well. That's why I never recommend this area, never in a hardcore. The only time you want to be here is if you want to farm his dagger, which is basically a Hellhound Familiar and Briarthorn MI, sorry. And there is a one-shot chest here. And there is a pretty good treasure room. This is the only pluses from this place. But usually, as I said, nothing of this worth it to lose your character. Usually quest finish when you enter the door, so you can just enter the door and immediately leave. You don't have to kill Salazar or whatever. The point of the quest is just to find their hideout. So this is another named hero. This is a Earth Splitter. This is a best in slot item if you play CDR Force Wave, Internal Trauma. Of course, the mythical version of this is so much better. This is just a regular item. That's why farming at this point is completely pointless. There is a so much easy way to grind gear instead of rely on a random drops. This is the beauty of Grim Dawn. You can build extremely solid character just from farming specific MIs and faction gear and quest rewards and some Easter egg items as well, like this shield, which is basically a mace. So we start to take too much damage. There is a corrupted hero. Corrupted heroes, bosses and that kind of stuff. Is extremely deadly. I'm gonna check for the Childred. He's here. This is a very good chunk of reputation. Sound seems too loud. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, this is much better. This rift is very important. If you have to backtrack and do the hidden path quest, I'm gonna do it right now, but sometimes your character is not prepared enough. So the secret path is here. You can see this area over here. Here is the triangle shaped stone. This is the most easiest guardian, usually no problems at all. He's gonna reward us 2 attribute points, 1 for elite and 1 for ultimate. His pants is the least useful usually. It's a pet stuff, but it's okay for leveling if you level pets. Rebuke. Don't even try Mad Queen in ultimate if you are not in endgame gear. She's gonna rip you apart. Don't do that mistake basically, especially when you are so close to beat the game. This is an endgame boss. If you like the challenge you can try, but in hardcore and at my 75 level, when I don't have all of my skill points and stuff, also my gear is pretty good, but she is an endgame world boss that I definitely don't want to play around. So 75 is the moment that we're waiting for. Usually I don't have reason to keep the old version when I have the next two. I'm anyway here, so I'm gonna transfer some materials. I don't plan to die, but just as the showcase, like I like to do. Mighty of Readiness can be a little bit better than, honestly, than Mystic of Attack. Low chaos resistance roll. Readiness is not that good either. So I'm gonna keep my Mystic of Attack for now. I have several legendaries. We have some dynamite stock up, so I can start clear this. This is how you farm scraps as well. These items are very low level based, completely useless. If you stock items for ults and stuff, there is a several good 50 and so on sets, but this one they are definitely not that good. So at this point we have another extra point at Counter Strike. I'm gonna retrieve it. We have one extra at Field Command. Usually I can take this one as well. Everything that goes there is a diminishing returns, as I explained. It's not gonna hurt, so I'm gonna keep it. I can take one. Sorry, I can put this extra point into break moral. for some extra physical resistance shred. I'm gonna check these pants. Yep. As we said earlier, they are pretty good roll. Stone Hind of Thorns is what we need. We have to swap our metal as well. At this point we can use a different component. Our movement speed is better, I think. Actually it's capped after all the devotions, so I can put some... Let's see which is worse. Yeah, we can use some black tallow here. So that's 2 more rift stones. It's a kinda expensive component, but it's all good because comes with a lot of chaos resistance and some damage less from tonics. A good chunk of defensive ability as well. Much better than the ward stone that basically at this point gives me nothing. But yeah, if your bleeding resistance or your elemental resistance bad, you can still use it. I'm gonna put my rush. Actually, I can check if I found something better. Storm Club is a good one. But the most we need Glyph of Seismic Strength. This is kinda our endgame glyph for a medal because comes with physical damage, a jump ability and retaliation damage add to attack. So at this point I'm gonna stick with the Bull Rush until I found my endgame one. I don't want to waste materials to craft some random stuff. $75. It's a power spike for us. We got better weapon and several better equipment like better metal. Damage comes to place. This totem is a good test point. Let's take this devotion. I already craft amber at the previous episode, especially for this one. I want to discover a little bit of the map. This totem that I found already is part of my farming route later on, when I have decent level, so I can start drop endgame equipment. This totem is the fastest one in the game. It's the closest to the rift, doesn't matter which spawning point's gonna be. Also, it's much more easier than most of the totems in the game because it's just a savage totem. It's nothing like Forsaken or Ancient. Comes with a regular beast or insects, that kind of heroes. We got another duplicate. I didn't click them fast enough. Let's talk to Creed.
Good. It's precise.
Grab the quest. And here we can end the episode. It's a pretty good point. Next we're gonna clear the necropolis and the rest of the Dead's Vigil questline. We can try to grab our revert status with the Devil's Crossing as well. I can run basically a reputation farming route, killing some bandits, bosses and stuff. But this is gonna be the next episode. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.